everybody, and welcome back. Oh, this is going to be good. Today we have an article from the Campus Reform by a Tony Erickson. I don't give a shit actually, but there we go. New York campus correspondent. And it is a professor who's shocked to find women don't want to gain £100. I am not fucking surprised by that in any way, shape or form. But anyway, let's have a look. Let's get down to the meat of the story, shall we? An Arizona State University professor was distressed to discover in a recent study that her female peers do not desire the stigma of extreme weight gain. Again, I am not fucking surprised. Professor Brianna Faz, a self-described fat woman, recently published an article in the Women's Studies International Forum, which she declared that the fear of fatness is far more extreme, exaggerated and terrible than lived realities of living in a fat body. I don't know, but here's the thing, I used to be fat. I was fat when I was younger. I dropped the weight once I started to get an energetic job and go to the gym. So I dropped all that weight off, but I understand what's like, trust me. The fear of being fat is nowhere near as bad as actually being fat. Trust me, from an ex-fatty, I understand as well. But see, I found the gym and I've quite a physical job, so I managed to keep the weight off doing that. Okay, so anyway. Faz interviewed 20 random females for the article, asking them questions about their current weight and what they thought of the prospect of gaining £100. Not surprisingly, not a single one of the women she surveyed was enthused about the idea, leading Faz to remark with dismay that no participants described gaining £100 as a positive thing to imagine. Emphasis in the original. Yeah, I fucking wonder why. Right, okay. I don't even know what to say to that. That's just fucking retarded. Yes, of course. I mean, being fat, acceptance of being. I don't mind women who are slightly overweight. No, by all means, I'm a big dude. If the girl I was with was a stick insect, I'd fucking probably break her in half. Sorry, that was terrible. But no, do you get what I mean though? I like a woman with a bit of meat on her bones, but there's a bit of meat in their bones and being a fucking land whale. Right, no offence, when a lassie weighs more than I do, right, that's when we have issues. And don't worry, if you're wondering how much I weigh, that will be getting answered in my AMA, which will be coming up very, very shortly. I am getting quite a lot of questions, but they all seem to be referring to my appearance. And a couple of ones that aren't about my appearance, but what I'll do is I've got quite a few questions, so I'm going to go ahead with the AMA. But anyway, I'll answer these in the AMA. Anyway, so during the survey, in fact, 4 women shrieked in disgust or started laughing uncontrollably in response to Faz's questions, thinking the professor was joking. No offence. If this professor was a guy, let's change the rules out a little bit here for a second. Let's say the professor was a guy and he was talking to a group of 20 men and asked about putting on £100 in, well, weight, right? And you know what would happen to them? Exactly the same thing that happened with her. You'd get your ass laughed off. Man, I'd laugh my ass off completely. Fuck off. No way would I want to put on £100 just for the sake of it. If I put on £100, that'd be massive, Jesus Christ. Anyway, getting back on point. Faz also bemoans the fact that not a single woman in the study mentioned any positive aspects of fatness, and no woman identified fatness as physically or personally important, even hypothetically. Well, yeah. I am not surprised. Here's the thing. If you have a medical condition that causes weight gain through to medicine side effects of medication you're taking, like steroids for example, and not the anabolic kind. I'm talking about steroids to reactionary, like to allergic reactions. You can be given a course of steroids for an allergic reaction. And the steroids, those kind of steroids, do have a tendency to cause weight gain, fluid retention, stuff like that, that's fine. If you have a medical condition which unfortunately causes you to gain weight, I'm not sure of what the name of these conditions are, but I do know these exist. Right, like you're retaining water because of the condition you have or something like that, that's absolutely fine. But the ones who you see flying down the road on a mobility scooter, when there's actually nothing really wrong with them apart from the fact that they've never actually done anything in their entire fucking life except for stuff food into their face. Right, just cramming buckets and buckets. Let me just make a suggestion for somebody who tries to eat healthily. I do try to eat healthily. I do try to watch what I eat. I'm not overly insane. Man, I eat chocolate, I eat crisps, I eat chips, and I like chips and dip and stuff like that. Yeah, I love all those things. I love chili and stuff, tacos and shit. Right, I love my food. I am not by any means a shrinking violet. Right, however, I do tend to watch the portions that I use, that I have, and the quantities of the starches, and especially with stuff like chilies. Rice is very starchy, so I try to minimise the rice and a bit more protein if I'm doing fajitas or something like that. But anyway, I like to have more protein towards starch and carbohydrates. That's just the way I work, because I have, I say, quite an energetic job. So I do try to eat very healthily. But as I said, those ones sitting in the middle, the only thing, they need to put down the fork and walk to the end of the goddamn street. That's all they need to do. And that's it. So, anyway, back onto the story. Faz, who praises fatness as a potentially liberatory experience, argues that obesity should be not viewed negatively since, according to according to feminist theory, stigmatizes fatness as connected to patriarchy, sexism, and the oppression of women. Right. Oh, for God's sakes. Well, that's just fucking retarded now, innit? I'm sorry, so when you go into, let's say you're a fucking land whale, and you go into the doctor's surgery and he turns around and goes like that, if you don't drop 100 pounds, you're going to die. Right? Is that patriarchy, sexism, and the oppression of women? No, it's making sure you don't fucking die. Oh, see these ones who fucking deny the facts that being fat is gonna fucking cause mega strain on your heart? Right, standard human body generally only generates only 8 pints of blood. And that's for an average sized person. Now, 8 pints of blood is plenty in an average sized human body. But an obese body, it's still only got 8 pints of blood, and that blood has got to go round, and the heart has got to work harder to push the blood round more space. So anyway, you're gonna end up killing yourself and denying the fact that being obese is bad. Is fucking retarded. I'm sorry, it is. It's just completely and utterly retarded. But anyway, moving on. The women did not identify the liberatory, political, or social implications of fatness, seem to reveal much about the contemporary framing of fatness as purely negative and solely based in stigma. It's not solely based in stigma. It's not stigma to be fat. It's fucking, it's unhealthy to be fat, you fucking retard. She writes, later adding, that thin women imagining fatness mostly see it in a highly unrealistic and intensely dreadful terms, rather than in more moderated, realistic terms. No, they're absolutely right. They feel and it is to thin women. Imagine being that size, having nothing that fits them. It's probably quite terrifying. As where the land whale that is writing this study obviously has issues going into. You're going to have to go into the big and tall. Well, that would be a guy, wouldn't it? Big and tall. I don't know, probably women too. She could wear a muumuu, be happy. Right. But see, I always maintain I like a woman with a bit of meat on them. I like a chubby girl. You know what I mean? I like a girl with a bit of... I like a girl with a set of hips. You know, something I can hang on to. Right? They don't have to be skinny. I don't like skinny. In fact, I'd probably, as I said before, break a skinny girl. Right? But if a woman weighs more than me, that's a no. It's a deal breaker. I'm sorry. But anyway, back to story. Back onto the article. If fat women in particular are to have dignity, respect and pride about their bodies, then a more realistic understanding of weight gain is crucial to that goal. Yeah. A more realistic understanding of weight gain. No, generally the only time that weight gain is really, really good is when you're fucking pregnant. Or if you've been extremely thin and you've put on 30 £. Or you've been painfully thin and you've put on 30 £. That's the only time weight gain is really acceptable. Or again, medical conditions that cause weight gain as a side effect of the medicine. That's absolutely fine. Or weight gain side effect of a medical condition. Again, like underactive thyroid or something like that. Or overactive. Either one of those, a thyroid condition. Or something along those lines. That's fully acceptable. But anybody who's wanting to advocate putting on £100 just for the sheer sake of so everybody's fat and nobody is extremely fucking stupid. And Faz is a fucking idiot. Okay, so she adds, concluding that interventions that seek to lessen or buffer the intensity of women's fear of weight gain could impact not only fat women's lives but all women's lives. Right, okay, so the way I'm picking this one up, the intensity of the woman's fear of weight gain, right? That's because it's a very valid fear, because it can cause a lot of problems. Bigger women, especially ones who are towards the obese and morbidly obese side, may not be able to have children because it'll put far too much strain on their bodies. It just won't happen. They're too heavy, you won't be able to have kids. So yes, that does affect not only fat women's lives, but all women's lives if they decide to get fat. And it's idiots like Fad who are promoting fat acceptance, right? Against all medical and professional advice, right? This person shouldn't be a professor in the first place. People who study gender studies and teach that as a fucking profession are morons, and they lie to you. They tell you that things exist when they don't. The only professors you should listen to are English lit professors, scientific professors like chemistry professors, stuff like that. A gender and a sociology, occasionally sociology professors. But see, gender studies professors are idiots. Don't listen to a word those fucking morons say. But anyway, the campus reform reached out to Faz for comment, but did not receive a response. That's probably because she's fucking embarrassed. I would be goddamn embarrassed about it too. Well, there we go, people. That's all. Oh, look, here's some more about that person. Yeah, don't care. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching. Leave me a comment down below and let me know what you think about fat acceptance, or whether you think this is fat shaming on my part. But see, I used to be fat. I mean, I'll do it in stone for you. I weighed 25 stone. Right, that's a lot. Right. And when it gets around to the AMA, I'll tell you exactly what I weigh in now and pounds. But also my height, my weight, all that, I'll tell you exactly, roughly what I'll look like now. But I'm quite proud of myself. But anyway, again, thank you very much for watching. Hit like, hit subscribe, and leave me a comment. I do love having your comments. Last chance to put questions in for the AMA if you want to. I've got quite a few questions. I'm not going to do a massive video. But again, weirdly, the majority of them are associated around my appearance. A couple of them not so much, but some of them are. So anyway, my name is Alexander Kingsfallen. Thanks for watching, people. I'll see you in the next one.